Tale.
I am Natsu Dragneel.
Hey, I'm Gray.
Put your clothes back on, you damn underpants, Shogun.
Oh, you want to go, General Snowface?
Yeah, come on, bring it, droopy eyes.
I'm Loki, and ladies, my number is... And you can text me anytime.
I am Elfmans, here for my fist to meet your face.
Natsu!
What?
Hi! Hey, Natsu!
Huh?
Lucy likes you!
Don't say weird shit like that when I'm trying to fight Gray. Oh yeah? Well, you still haven't beaten me yet, Gray.
Oh, yeah, you want to go again?
Bring it then!
Until the two of you are stronger than me, no fighting!
I'll be good.
Urza, why don't you just let them be? Isn't it better this way?
Hey, Charle! Yeah? Here's a fist I caught for you. No way!
Hey, Natsu? Remember when I asked you if I could be your wife a long while back?
Uh-huh.
That question still stands.
What?
It still stands.
Don't you get involved in this, Gray.
Is the big bad Natsu gonna get angry?
Fire Dragon's Fist! Whoever the hell else we feel like bringing into the show, I'll give you a clue. Shoobeedoowa! So, hello and welcome to episode 22 of the Fairy Tale Podcast. We are getting up there in our episodes. We're getting close to that good 25th episode, which should be quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much looking forward to it. I really, really am. It's going to be a fun time. I'm going to update you real quick with some podcast news, talk a little bit about Anime Blast Chattanooga. Once again, really want to thank those guys. They were really awesome to us. Big shout-outs to Zippy and to Casey, and I can't remember the third guy's name right now, and I'm so sorry I forgot your name. But there are three incredible people that were involved in there, and they did so much for us. And we actually have an interview with them for those of you who are thinking about putting together a con, or have been wondering what goes on behind the scenes of running a convention, what all pre-planning kind of stuff you have to do for it. So we got an interview set down with them, and we're going to play that later. We've also got an interview coming up later with the one of the guys at GMX to kind of explain some stuff about, you know, the behind the scenes with the convention and what all kind of work it takes in there. Because we know that there are people that really are thinking about wanting to start their own convention where they live. And it doesn't matter if you're in the U.S. or if you're outside of it in Korea or Thailand or wherever we're getting our crazy, insane amounts of downloads that we cannot thank you enough for. I mean, you guys that listen to us, you make this awesome, and we wouldn't keep doing this if we didn't think you enjoyed it, and it's nice to know that you guys really do enjoy it. We got to talk a bit about something that we're not able to announce just yet, but you'll probably hear it in the interviews that we do later on. We did get a chance to sit down with Todd Habercorn for about 30-40 minutes, and it was really nice because this was the first time that we actually got to sit down as a crew and do an interview with someone in person. And I thought that was really nice. And it was, I think for Todd, it was really nice for him because it's the first time that he got to see the Fairy Tale podcast as more than just me. Like, I may be the face of the Fairy Tale podcast, but I'm not the only one in it. So it's been really, really nice, and I think it definitely gives him a lot of confidence and pride in the character that he's portrayed with Natsu, because not only is he seeing how much I love it, but now he's seeing the rest of the crew and how much we like everything that he's contributed to the series so far. So he knows that there's more than just one person out there that is really, really hell-bent on trying to get this done. Now, I've officially gone ahead and stated, and you'll hear this in the interview as well, that I'm going to do the same thing Todd's doing, because it's a totally awesome idea. If we manage to get the second set of episodes, like the second part of Fairy Tale, it will actually be 49, episode 49, all the way through 96, plus the 2 OVAs. So that would basically put them at 100 episodes, because the OVAs are basically like 2 episodes apiece in their own right. You know, each OVA is as long as 2 episodes. So you've got those 2 OVAs, or as Happy likes to call them, OVAs, and that would put us at 100 episodes. So that means that Todd will get his Fairy Tale tattoo. And you know what? I have to kind of bite off of that. I think that we'll do that too. Well, I know I will. I can't speak for everybody else.
I'm debating on it still, because I'll do it.
When I get
All right, so there we go. See, I'm gonna get my Natsu tattoo. I think we're all gonna. I think the whole consensus here is to get their character's tattoo in the same spot and in the same color.
I was gonna do it anyway, so.
Actually, Juvia, by the time that that we probably hear what's going on with that next batch of episodes, you'll probably be of age to get that tattoo. So, just saying. Our Juvia is 17. It's sad. But she won't be for much longer. Juvia's, I think, is like on her shoulder or something.
It's actually on her leg, like her thigh and stuff.
Yeah,
oh, it's on her thigh?
left thigh.
Yeah. I would notice.
I mean, again, it's up to each individual person whether they actually want to get it or not.
Just saying.
Another thing that Todd said in the interview that is really, really cool is that if we get the Fairy Tale movie dubbed over here, he will like. He didn't say he'd breathe fire, but he said he'd spit out some alcohol into a flame and make it
I had to walk
fire.
He'll do the fire dragon's roar, I believe.
He'll do a fire dragon's roar of some kind.
He was like, "How would you do this?" I was like, "Well, you'd put the alcohol in your mouth, and then you'd stand."
Yeah. All right. Don't give too much away. We want them to be salivating to listen to this. Of course, we have to run every interview that we do with this by Funimation, let them listen to it and approve it. And generally they do, because the way we edit here, there's not a lot of content that has to really be taken out. I had to cut down some content from the interview with Tyler Walker just because it was so long. It wasn't really an issue of, oh my God, there's a lot of content, but I mean, there's some stuff on there that basically like little bits of like dead air, or him saying a little too much in certain parts, or if he repeated himself.
He just took a page out of my book with the because I'm sitting here going dum 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 a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't really a lot of major stuff, and I didn't take out any actual like real content. So everything that you will hear in the Tyler interview is necessary content, and I don't want you guys to think that I suddenly took out some amazing news that can't be heard or anything like that. No, that I didn't do that. But again, everything has to be approved by Funimation before we post it up. So if it seems like it's taking a while for these episodes to get out, that's because one of the PR people has to listen to it and make sure that, you know, trade secrets or he said something that he wasn't supposed to be telling you that they were working on or something like that. They need to just make sure that nothing that they're contractually obligated to not talk about was not talked about. Okay, you guys kind of understand that, I'm hoping. But it's going to be a really, really awesome interview. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that and the Todd interview. as well as the interview with the 3 chairs of Anime Blast Chattanooga. What was really cool was they gave us a big shout-out at opening and closing ceremonies. And that was amazing. We cannot thank them enough for that. They worked with us really, really well. They actually got us a room twice so that we could set up my laptop to the HD TVs, the flat screen TVs they had there. And we actually got to screen for the people there the first 6, was it 6 or 7?
We
episodes?
watched 6.
The first 6 episodes of Fairy Tail. So the first DVD of the 2 DVD set, they got to screen it just a little early as kind of like a, hey, here's what it's like right now. Now go buy it. You know? So you basically got to see 2 episodes that aren't available online. They got to see 2 extra episodes. And we were hoping to show the commentary, but we didn't get a chance to do so. So, kind of sucks. But, well, you know, it kind of works out to our advantage that way, because we're sitting there telling them the commentary is awesome and you should totally check it out. So it gives encouragement to buy the DVD. But yeah, we don't want people to think, oh yeah, we totally showed them everything and now they don't want to buy it. That's not what's going on. I think what we did was give them a big teaser, and it just made it that much more awesome. All right. So that is the podcast news, and we are going to move on to Fairy Tail news, and where I believe that we have some con updates as well as some other Fairy Tail updates.
Okay, so Fairy Tail English cast appearance list is getting just a little bit low because I went to add January, and I think the Fairy Tail English cast is going on like a sabbatical or something because nobody's making any appearances as of yet in January. So
TBA, dude.
Yeah.
To be announced.
I will be looking for that still, but as of right now, I still have the list of the appearances that will be made. Okay, we've got Anime Vegas, November 11th through the 13th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Then there's Colleen Clinkerbeard and Todd Havercorn who will be appearing. There's YuleCon, which is November 18th through the 20th in Fort Worth, Texas, and Tia Ballard will be there. Then we have Anime Crossroads, which is December 16th through the 18th in Indianapolis, Indiana, which Todd will be appearing at. And that is my very small list of con updates.
Yeah, no, they keep kind of shrinking.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that we wanted to go ahead and point out, for those of you who are fans of Chris Ayres, we did in fact actually realize that Chris Ayres is in Fairy Tail. He's Duke Everlew. Yeah, that's right. That weird guy with the nose hair mustache that has
awesome.
all the ugly maids and stuff. And he does such a good job. Like, I totally hated his character. He did a great job portraying that.
I hated that character so much. I was like, I just want to bang your head against the wall.
But that's Chris Ayres, and he did such a good job in that. And we will actually be seeing him at OMG Con in June next year. So we're very much looking forward to that, especially because it's one of those smaller cons, so we'd get some one-on-one time with him to talk about it. So look forward to that, hopefully. And, of course, our last item of news is, of course, that in a day and 2 weeks from the day that we're recording this, Fairy Tail comes out on DVD. If you have your pre-order ready, then it'll probably be showing up in your mailbox in about 2 weeks. So
and
that'll
Charles'
be really,
birthday's
really cool.
in December. Somebody wants to send it to me.
Well, you know what? It's my birthday today, so suck it.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Gray from our podcast has a birthday, so please make sure to send fan mail and birthday love to fairytailpodcast@gmail.com. And remember to send your fan mail in so that we can read it. We'd really like to hear back from you guys. Let us know what's going on in your area. Alrighty. So yeah, that is going to wrap us up for news, and we are going to move on to the anime recap. Alright, this week's episodes are episodes 41 and 42. And it starts off, you see Erza floating around in this little glowing world talking, and she's got a pretty white dress on. And then you see what is basically Erza's funeral. And everybody in Fairy Tale is very sad, visiting her grave, and she's actually floating above them watching this now. And it shows when she was born, when she died, so there's a little extra clues there. Natsu actually shows up and kicks the flowers and is all pissed off, saying that she's not dead. You see Happy crying. Then you see her look up because she heard a voice and a hand is reaching out for her. And you hear waves. She wakes up, looks around. She realizes she's standing in the ocean. Everybody's running towards her. And she's like, what the heck? And she's like, I'm alive. Looks up and realizes Natsu is the one that saved her and is holding her. And that is possibly one of the best images in Fairy Tale. And he basically says, don't you ever do that again. We don't fight so that you can sacrifice yourself. We fight so that you can live on with us. So this really hit a chord with him. Now we've moved forward to a couple of days later. Natsu's still sleeping off the effects of the fight and eating a Therion.
He's a toad.
I love that Gray insults him.
Very loud.
Natsu wakes up going, what the hell did you say? Happy's like, he's awake, then he falls right back to sleep.
Happy goes, he's asleep.
That is totally Natsu in a nutshell.
What did you say?
He's awake. He's asleep.
Now, Erza invites Sho and, oh god, what is her name? Miliana, I believe? And the blocky guy, Wally, to join Fairy Tale. And they're all kind of surprised about that. Later on, they disappear, and Erza's looking for them. She can't find them, and they're out at a boat about to leave, saying that we've had enough for living for someone else's sake. They want to go kind of explore the world and everything. And they feel like they'd be, like if they joined Fairy Tale, that it'd be kind of restricting them because they've been stuck in this tower for forever. And, you know, they don't want to be around all the time, constantly reminding Erza of her past and how they didn't trust her. They really feel like they'd be breaking her heart, and they don't wish that on her, which is actually really nice of them. Erza, though, is like, oh, hell no, shows up in her armor and says, well, we're going to give you the Fairy Tale send-off, and tells them the 3 rules for people leaving Fairy Tale. And then Lucy and Natsu and Gray make pretty ice, fire, and celestial fireworks. They then return to the guild to find this brand new guild that's been built, and they're running around showing them all the new features, like the fact that Max is back and he's running a shop in Fairy Tale that sells t-shirts and little figurines, and the Lucy figurine that the clothes pop off of. There's a pool in the back, a game room downstairs, and apparently the newest part is that there is somebody on that people who aren't S level can now go up to the 2nd floor. They just can't take S level quests. They introduced that Juvia has entered Fairy Tale now, and introduced another person who just joined Fairy Tale, Gajio. Everybody's kind of upset with this, but it's the master's decision, so they kind of go along with it. Natsu's like, man, things feel kind of different. He can't really put his finger on it. Mira decides to put on a concert, and she has a beautiful singing voice, really. And everybody's cheering for her and everything. And then the next thing shows up as the greatest. Gajio shows up to sing in this like pimp suit, and everybody's like, "Oh my fucking god!" Then he starts singing. And I think everybody's reactions are the greatest. The first half are people who were telling him, yeah, do it, buddy. And then the other people are like, you suck. So it's kind of like a mixed opinion on there. But I like how Elfman's like, go for it, Casio-kun.
Oh, yeah.
It's so freaking hilarious. And this is where our infamous Shoobeedoowa comes from. And then, of course, Natsu starts a fight as he's getting food and shit thrown at him. Natsu basically insults his singing, and then a fight ensues. And then I love how they don't even announce attack names anymore. Gajil just starts fighting, and there's this epic kick, and Gajil's like, Shoobeedoowa! And possibly the greatest, that's one of the great moments of this. But the standoff time is that Luxus has arrived at the guild again and starts a fight with Gagiel outside, even though Team Shadowgear has been fighting him. He, majorly picks on Gagiel. Almost hurts Levy in the process, except Gagiel steps in the way to take the hit directly for her. And Luxus is basically saying, this is not the fairy tale I wanted it to be. He's basically saying fairy tale's gonna be his. And he's royally pissed, and that's how the episode ends, and we move on to episode 42. You find out that apparently if Plu gets soaked in hot water, he'll actually wilt. It's one of the first things you find out in this episode, and it's quite funny. Also, Lucy's rent is due, and she's trying to find a way to make the money, and she goes in to sleep and realizes that Natsu's laying asleep in her bed. This shocks the hell out of her. And I think she had Natsu's muffler. That's part of the reason why they came over to get it. But he's sleeping in her bed. That's the best part. Then you get introduced to 3 new characters who are called the Raijinshu. And they are like Luxus's personal guard. Bixlo, Freed, and Evergreen. Then you find out that there's this festival happening in Magnolia. And Mira and Master Makarov have been running around buying supplies for it, because they're in charge of running the parade. You meet more people when Warren shows up, and you find out that there is a Miss Fairy Tale pageant where the winner gets a decent sum of money, and so Lucy decides to enter. Upon Lucy declaring that she's going to enter, Juvia's like, oh hell no, I'm not going to lose to Lucy, so she joins. And this is kind of where the whole thing starts. You get to see all the girls in more or less bikinis and stuff, except for Mira does the stupidest, but the funniest, but the thing that throws her out, she changes her head into Happy while her body is still the same. Happy thinks it's hilarious. Everybody else is like, no, and heartbroken. So funny. Changes her head into Gagiel, to which Gagiel's like, the fuck? Happy's just dying at this point. Thinks it's hilarious. And I love that that Elfman is kind of like, oh my god, sister, why? Urza shows up and does her version as kind of like a goth Lolita. And that definitely scores some points. Then Levy comes up next, and then we have Biska. It's Lucy's turn next, and she changes into a cheerleader, and then Evergreen shows up saying, how dare you have a beauty contest without me, and turns all the girls to stone. And then the Raijinshu and Luxus show up and state that there is a competition. Basically, everyone in Fairy Tale must battle each other, and the last one standing is the strongest. Natsu, of course, loves this idea, but the stakes are pretty high considering that all the girls are turned to stone, and that if they want to unpetrify them, they have to basically beat the Raijinshu and Luxus. Now, Freed uses his solid script to basically trap the Master in so that he can't leave and participate in the battle and has to let the rest of them fight. And you actually end up seeing different people fight each other. Natsu actually got knocked out by Luxus before he could leave. The Master says that if Natsu were to get serious, he could actually pull it off, and asks him to go and compete and fight all the others. And then you find out that actually Natsu can't actually pass through, which results in probably one of the funniest moments of this episode, being that the Master actually asks him if he's over 80. He's like, are you an old man? He's like, as if. But, yeah, different members of Fairy Tale start fighting each other, and just becomes this kind of free-for-all. And that's where episode 42 ends. And this is the new arc known as the Battle of Fairy Tale. And, yeah, now let's go around the call and ask everybody what they thought of these episodes. So, Charle, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Paws up. Like my little white paws, they're just as far as they can go.
Loki.
Thumbs up, and I need a bucket of water now.
Elfman.
Thumbs up.
Greg.
Thumbs up.
So, what is one thing that you guys liked or didn't like about these episodes? Charle.
Okay, I had one part for each of the episodes. In 41, I loved how Erza was given away, was the whole, if you're leaving fairy tale speech, the sending off, and that kind of made me cry. Like, I had some tears. And then in 42, when the fight starts out after Gajil was up there, he throws his guitar and he starts talking, and the harmonica is in his mouth, and so instead of talking, you hear hoo 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 hoo.
Actually, I think that was 41 as well.
Oh, really? Well, those were my
41 ended. 41 ended.
Okay, yeah, well, those were my two favorite parts anyway.
Okay. Loki.
Gajil's Shoobeedoowa, and basically Evergreen showing up in those giant tits of hers.
Oh my god.
Elfman.
Don't you talk about my waifu. I mean, hi.
I don't see no label on her, Elfman.
I will prove.
Don't worry, the ring I'm sure is on its way. Anyway, Gray.
Shoobeedoowa, need I say less?
Awesome. Yeah, so in comparison to the manga, what did you prefer? Did you think the manga was better? Did you think the anime was better? Charle.
Oh god, I have to go with the anime.
Loki.
Anime, the boobies bounce.
Elfman.
Anime.
And Gray.
Animu.
Alright, so that is going to wrap us up for the anime recap, and we are going to move on to Charle, who has a bit of magical education for us.
Today on Charles Magical Education, I am going to cover Evergreen. Surprise, surprise.
I'm psychic.
Evergreen is a member of the Thunder God tribe. The Thunder God tribe are the followers of Luxus who believe that Luxus should be the guildmaster of Fairy Tale. When Evergreen was a child, she dreamed of being a fairy, so she joined Fairy Tale for the name only. She hates Erza because her name Titania means Queen of the Fairies. Her first magic is Fairy Magic. It is a caster type. Fairy Magic is where Evergreen releases fairy dust from her body, and she can use it for different spells and magical effects.
Oh my.
Her second magic is called Stone Eye, and this is it. Its magic type is Eye Magic. Stone Eye is where Evergreen can turn those who look directly into her eyes into stone. She wears glasses to control this magic. This magic is similar to the Greeks' mythological creature Medusa. The longer the person who was turned into stone remains trapped in the stone, the closer they get to turning into dust. It is rumored that Evergreen can also turn the trapped person into dust on command. As with most magic, there is a way to counter it, and it also has a weakness. The way to counter Stone Eye is to be wearing glasses as well, if the target of the magic has a prosthetic eye. Like Erza, we see her break out of the stone on her own. This happens because her eye, being fake, cuts the magic power in half. And that wraps it up for Charles' Magical Education. Going to hand it over to Elfman for Cooking with Elfman.
On today's Cooking with Elfman, I'm going to teach you how to make garlic butter cheddar chicken. Now,
Nice.
Oh yeah.
This sounds just so, yummy.
What you're going to need is a half a cup of butter, 4 cloves of garlic minced, 3/4 cup of dry breadcrumbs, a half a cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese, 1.5 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, 1/4 of a teaspoon of dried parsley, 1/4 of a teaspoon of dried oregano, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and 8 skinless, boneless chicken breast halves, pounded thin. Now first, you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. Melt the butter in a saucepan over low heat and cook the garlic until tender for about 5 minutes. Then in a shallow bowl, mix the breadcrumbs, Parmesan cheese, cheddar cheese, parsley, oregano, pepper, and salt. Give each chicken breast and the garlic butter to coat, then press it into the breadcrumb mixture. Arrange the coated chicken breast in a 9 by 13 inch baking dish, then drizzle it with any of the remaining butter and top with any of the remaining breadcrumb mixture. Bake for about 30 minutes in the preheated oven or until the chicken is no longer pink and juices run clear. And that is it for Cooking with Elfman. I'm going to pass it over to Lisanna for Reedus Gallery.
I'm hungry again.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
I know,
something
man.
I've made in culinary school before.
Hello and welcome to another entry into Reedus Gallery. For this week's entry, I've got an image called Celestial Mage Lucy by LML14. I'm really digging the shading of it, so that's for sure. It's, cel shaded, which is surprisingly simple, but really, really great effect in the end. Kind of gives a really good animated effect. So what's really impressive about this is, well, one, it's colored line art from another artist. Obviously, that does pop up a lot. But they actually had to go in and shade the eyes, and I really like the gradient effect they did on it. If you zoom in enough, you can see it. I really, really, really love the shine on the key. Really gives it that slightly metallic look. And, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but the shading on the boobs and right under, I really like.
It's okay, I can't quit staring at those either.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of, like...
Right, Loki? Mm-hmm.
The whole focus really seems to be right in that area anyways, the boobs, the hands, and the face. But I'm pretty sure for the guys it's gonna be the boobs, and for the girls it's gonna be like, ooh, shiny key! It's so shiny. Anyways,
I got my eyes on a different part, but I'm not going to say which part.
yeah, let's move on. I really like the pose, and the foreshortening is actually really well done. Foreshortening is also really tough. So, with all of that being said, I am going to go around the table and ask everybody's opinions. Charle, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Pulse up.
Alright, Elfman?
Thumbs up.
Okay. Loki?
Thumbs up. Hold on. 3 thumbs, actually.
Natsu?
Thumbs up.
What is one thing you like or dislike about this picture, Charle?
I like how the key is like up in your face, and you can actually follow her arm and then see the whole picture.
Alrighty, Elfman.
Her key is trying to poke me in the eye. I really don't want that to happen at this moment in time.
Well, then your face out of the way.
But if I do that, I can't see the boobies.
Very true. Okay.
Depends on which way you move your face.
That
Yeah.
too.
Alrighty, Loki.
I'm trying to find my 3D glasses. I'm hoping if I put the 3D glasses on, the boobs will come out a little bit more. But obviously, it's a very good picture. The shading is real nice. I like basically the stance, but I can think of a few different places to put that key.
Yes. Yes. Okay, let's move on. Natsu.
I definitely like the shading. It's really good use of the gradient effect. Well, I can't quit staring at the boobies.
Of course. Alrighty. So, one word to describe this picture. That's not boobies. Charle?
Damn it.
I have to admit, the boobs are kind of there. You just can't ignore them. I'd say cute.
Elfman?
ADD is acting up, so I'm going to say shiny.
Alright. Loki?
Titties! Because I didn't say boobies.
That's fair.
You didn't say I couldn't say titties.
No, that was fair. I was thinking about that when it came around to you. Anyways, Natsu?
Mounds.
God.
That's gonna, wrap us up for this week's entry into Reedus Gallery, and I'm gonna hand it back to Natsu.
Alrighty, and that's going to wrap us up for all of our segments, and we are now going to move on to the manga recap. Alright, so this week's chapter is chapter 258, and it's called Sabretooth. The air is restless around these two men whose bodies radiate the aura of powerful people. What's on the mind of these mysterious men is Fairy Tail and Natsu? So first and foremost, I gotta say, I love the fact that the first page is colored.
If he
That's
actually
awesome.
colours this in, he's a legend.
Yeah. He did actually color this thing, so.
Holy crap!
Hero's a hard worker, and I
He's
love the
good.
background. I love the background with all the fairy tale symbols over it. That's just awesome. Alright, so here we go.
Apparently they've come back.
What are you talking about?
The core members of Fairy Tail that disappeared 7 years ago.
I'm not interested.
Don't lie to me, Rogue. Especially when you looked up to Natsu-san that much.
That was a long time ago.
And yay! So what I couldn't wait to talk about. First and foremost, anime movie adaptation release decided. Special premieres throughout the country on August 18th, 2012. We'll bring you more detailed news regarding the anime movie adaptation in the next issue. So that's going to be really cool, but I love this cover.
Look at Natsu's climbing the tower.
No,
Oh
I'm sorry.
what happened to Charle?
That's what I'm saying. First, we'll start off with all the way at the left, and we'll start with Charle. I don't know what this one is necessarily supposed to be.
Marilyn Monroe.
Charles supposed to. Oh, Marilyn Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
that is Marilyn Monroe. Oh, that's awesome.
That is so funny.
I like how Wendy has apparently become a gangsta.
Yeah.
Don't know when that happened, but she's like your typical mafia gangsta.
She's like, dude, I'm pimp.
Why is Natsu controlling a giant robot?
I think I love the fact that Happy is basically like it created his own Happy Gundam. Right?
Dynamite glows with awesome power.
Anybody know who Juvie is supposed to be?
I think it's like some kind of Western theme.
But,
Yeah, I think Gray and Juvie are supposed to be kind of like a Western theme, but I gotta say, the first time I saw Gray, I was like, holy shit, is Gray cosplaying Han Solo? That was the first thing, and then I looked over and I was like, oh my god, Ayers is Indiana Jones!
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Because of the whip. If it hadn't been for the whip, I would have probably gone with Tomb Raider.
Indiana Erza
running away from... Because there's a snake in the background, too, that kind of threw that. And I was like, oh my god, Erza's afraid of Manga.
Natsu's King Kong.
I know, I love that.
Blue.
And I love that freaking Lucy is Cinderella.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got the epic tag team here in the form of Gajeel the Samurai and Panther Lily the Ninja.
I'm wondering who's in that
So
plane.
look at that right there. Already started right there, and I know I'm gonna start shit right now. So to all the One Piece fans that are listening to this, yes, I'm starting shit with you right now. Notice how there was a ninja and no pirates?
There is a pirate.
Just saying. I like how we've got... you can definitely see the Cinderella theme here, though, because they've got the pumpkin and the mouse and then the missing glass slipper.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So, I mean, there's some awesome stuff happening all over this. But let's go ahead and read that out. Take that tightly sealed treasure chest that's locked away your dreams, hopes, love, and battles, and with all your conviction, smash it open. This was a brilliant opening page, just saying. I like the fact that even though he's King Kong, he's still got fire. And
He's like, wait!
In the little
gotta say, I really love this. It was just so much fun. Magic Council era. The 7 years of nothingness experienced by Natsu and his friends were anything but a silent 7 years to the world of magic.
Sage Org, thank you for your work today at the council.
Have you decided yet on the Guild Trade Agreement reform proposal?
No, that still requires more time. More importantly, you all should have heard by now, haven't you?
Magic Council, Sage Org.
I assume you're talking about Fairy Tail's core members returning.
Magic Council, Laharl. Magic Council, Doranbalt.
Looks like that's one load off your chest, right, Doranbalt?
the magic world will probably get stirred up again.
I had already discarded them from my thoughts.
7 years ago, when Acknowledger and Zareth were sighted,
I apologize. Their whereabouts are still unknown.
our reconnaissance squad needs more personnel assigned to it. These 7 years have been too quiet. We've been keeping watch of Sabretooth's exploits, but Totoro's has shown no suspicious activity. The same goes for remnants of Gwynmore Heart. There is also no new information on Zareth and Acknowledger, but the circumstances of this silence is strange. It's almost like a never-ending night. Perhaps day is about to break through the night? Will it be the magic world's great sunrise?
Are you saying the cause of this is fairy tale?
Expecting that much out of fairy tale in spite of how much dislike I have for them. I've gotten older too, haven't I?
2 weeks have passed since our return from Tenro Island. Throughout the country, rumors of our return have spread like wildfire. As expected, Sorcerer Weekly rushed in quickly to get the scoop on the details.
Shoobeedoowa!
Yes!
And Levy's in the background
More
going,
Shoobeedoowa time, and Levy's like,
I'm not part of this.
I can't stop staring at Lucy's ass. As if to make up for 7 years of lost time, everyone parties their hearts out every single day.
Now we get to talking about this panel.
Okay, please, booty. Okay, I'm done.
Not that much. No, alright, I like the Knob and Elfman are having an epic arm wrestling moment. I wonder what the fuck is wrong with Droy. Did he, try to challenge Elfman recently or something?
Oh, my dear!
And Mira's so cute. And Lisanna ever the cheerleader.
I've also started to work things out with my dad, little by little. Everyone is here. Right now, to me that is happiness.
Okay, now let's talk about Lucy's epic ass shot.
She strikes me as a person to not wear a sports bra, but okay.
And not wearing pigtails either.
Yeah, she strikes me as the person that I wish didn't wear a bra.
And panties.
Or anything.
But I mean, come on. At the same time, we've seen Lucy naked before. I mean, yes, there were interrupting leaves, but still.
Those leaves were there for the mind to wander.
Now we move on to getting a bit more exposition about what's really been happening, and we finally get to see Biscuit and Ozek's daughter.
oh, so cute.
And I love what.
It's pointed Panther Lily.
What's going on with Panther Lily and her? Did Panther Lily suddenly fall in love with this little girl? What's going on?
He looks pissed.
After the
All right.
she spotted me.
Sabretooth?
A tiger with sabers for teeth. Sabretooth, get it?
Tidma and Lamia even disregard them. They're currently the strongest mage guild in Fiore.
I've never heard of them. They weren't anything special 7 years ago. You're saying they grew suddenly over the last 7 years?
It started when their guildmaster recruited 5 very strange but very capable wizards.
5 people alone made that much of a difference?
Oh? I like his style.
I like Happy's face.
Okay, so pickups.
So what rank does that leave our guild in now?
You really want to know?
You haven't heard yet?
Absolute last place.
A super tiny, weak little guild.
The weakest guild in Fiore.
I'm sorry for asking.
Sounds great! How interesting.
What?
You get it, don't you? I'm looking forward to the chance to try and climb our way higher. How many opportunities like that do you get? I'm getting all fired up now.
Ah, jeez.
Natsuni is just the same as ever.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Hey, have you guys seen Gildots?
What now? Are you lonely? You aren't next to your daddy for a second?
Jack.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Don't worry.
She was noticed by Gray-sama?
Alright, I gotta talk about this panel real quick. Not only does Jubia look pissed as a motherfucker, but she grabbed the wall so hard that it fucking cracked.
If you're looking for guild arts,
Then Master, I guess I have to call him Makarov-san now.
I think Master is fine.
He went with Master to the old fairy tale building.
All right, I'd better take this chance to go do my work.
Conan's devotion towards guild arts is really amazing, isn't it? What about your devotion to Charle?
That's the most powerful strength of this guild.
Well, okay, I want to talk again real quick about Asuka in the back. First off, I love the fact that she's got Mommy's hat, more or less. Like, she's got the same hat as Mommy. And that she is, like, enamored and adores Panther Lily. Like, I love that. Like, she's petting Panther Lily, and I love that Panther Lily is just kind of standing there like, yeah, yay, attention. He's like, yay, people are paying attention to me. You know? It's kind of great. And yes, I did just do the hand thing that Soyberg would do, so.
What about Charles' look?
What a weird guild. Is it alright to be entering on our own? This building's been foreclosed, hasn't it?
It's going to be taken back soon.
But I had no idea there was an underground passageway this huge under the guild.
Because no one was told about it.
But why?
Well, you'll know when you see it.
Huh?
Behold!
More corn!
Funny. I love this giant fairy tale symbol there, and when I was first reading this, I was like, show me what they're looking at! I want to know!
Yeah, I was salivating at the mouth.
Alright, here we go. And then we get big, bright, and shiny, and I'm sitting there like the entire time, what is in there, damn you!
Same here, I'm sitting here clicking. I'm like, click, okay, show me, click, show me. What the hell is in here?
Alrighty. Then we get big door opening and bright, shiny sunshine. I've got sunshine underneath my guild. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Our guild's greatest secret. Luminality.
And still he's not showing us! We're only getting their reactions, and as I keep going through, it kept pissing me off.
Okay. What is this? How can this be?
Why aren't you showing me?
This is what Makarov wrote. Sorry, I tried to do a serious voice.
I like how we went almost right into Luffy. He was like, this is what Marvis wrote on the fairy tale's true name.
This is what Marvis wrote on the wall
yes,
of fairy
you should totally fuck it. From now on, Master is Luffy.
This is what Marvis wrote of fairy tale's true nature.
I can't even find words.
That's perfectly natural. When Kirito showed this to me, I was at a loss for words as well.
What is something like this doing beneath the guild? And more importantly, why are you showing it to me?
Because you're going to be the next master of fairy tale, guild arts.
Say
called
what?
It. Fucking called it.
Say
fucking
what?
Called it. Alright, so, again, pissed me off that I never got to see what was behind the door.
Dude, it is something serious.
And now we move back to these other two guys that we saw at the beginning.
Man, talking about 7 years ago really makes me nostalgic. I was this small back then. Ah, you were Gadgio's apprentice back then, right? Man, Gadgio was real scary.
Don't cling on to the past, Sting. Those people were not there on the path we took.
I found you.
Hmm?
Die.
Ugh.
And the motherfucker catches the arrow.
He ate the arrow? Huh?
Crunch, crunch, chomp, chomp.
No way. He can't be.
And then he spits the arrow back at him, and that's fucking gross, but he does...
Uki of Death no Jutsu.
He spits the arrow back for massive damage.
Uki of Death.
And it was massive damage. These guys look badass.
Oh, you let your bad side slip out there a bit, didn't you?
So it was them. They're the double dragons of Sabretooth.
Is it me, or do they look like an older version of Natsu in gray?
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit, yeah.
The White Dragon, Sting, and Rogue, the Shadow Dragon. the Dragon Slayer duo.
Sabretooth, Sting Euclif. Sabretooth, Rogue Shine.
Wow. Hey! Are you just going to abandon your comrades? You're real scum.
They're a dark guild, after all.
Dean Kun really overdid it again, didn't he?
Did it?
Where did Lecter and Frosh get off to?
We were just doing a bit of reconnaissance. Yo! It's the Fire Dragon and Iron Dragon. And we won't be the second best to the Sky Dragon. You can always count on us. Yep.
So I think so too.
Sabretooth, Lecter. Sabretooth, Frosh.
Right?
After all, you're the most powerful dragon slayer, Sting Kun. Yep.
I think as of now, I'd definitely be able to beat Natsu-san.
Yeah, of course you would. Yep.
Wanna go have a duel with him, Rogue?
Not interested.
So cute.
Those 7 years that had passed released new Dragon Slayers. How far off is the time Natsu and his friends might encounter them? Next chapter, color cover. To be continued in chapter 259, Sky Dragon Grandine. Okay, once again, I want to say I'm pissed that we didn't get to see what was behind the door. Just want to say that. But you know what made up for it? Shoobeedoowa 2.0. That's what made up for it.
And 2 new Dragon Slayers.
Right. All right, so let's go ahead around the group and see what everybody thought of it. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Charle.
Thumbs up.
Loki.
Thumbs up.
Happy.
Up.
Elfman.
Thumbs up.
Juvia.
Thumbs up.
And Gray.
Thumbs up.
All right. So, what is one thing you liked or did not like about this chapter? Charle.
I only do it in to see what was behind the damn door.
Loki.
I actually like that they brought 2 new Dragon Slayers along, and I definitely want a plushie of Frosh.
Happy.
Oh, yeah, I would boozy.
And I love the panties, too.
Elfman.
We have some new kick-ass shit to bring along in here.
Right? Juvia.
I liked how Juvia was like breaking the pillar with her bare hands from anger and jealousy.
I'm sorry, Juvia!
Gray.
I get my own cat, how awesome am I?
So do I.
Alright. What are your predictions for next week's chapter? Charle.
Maybe we'll find out what's behind the door?
Loki.
I think since the colored chapter, we'll probably see colored versions of Rogue and Sting. But since it says Sky Dragon, does that mean that the dragon that taught Wendy all her sky magic is going to make an appearance?
Perhaps. You never know. Happy.
I take door number 1.
Elfman.
Shit gonna get down and real.
Juvia.
I think honestly, you're not going to see anything more than some explanations of what was going on while they were gone.
Okay. Gray.
We might see what's behind the door, and there might be a dragon flare off.
I'm kind of going a little bit with what Juvia was saying this time around. I think perhaps it's kind of a combination of both. I think we're going to find out what the dragons have been doing in these 7 years. Perhaps. Or at least one of them. Alrighty. So, what did you guys think of the recap? Charle.
Pretty smooth.
Loki.
I finally had more dialogue.
Happy.
I'm cool.
Elfman.
I'm finally a kitty.
Juvia.
I get to get it too.
And Gray.
I have a cat.
That is going to wrap us up for the manga recap and pretty much this episode of the podcast, and all that's left to do is really just name this episode. So, episode 22 should be called what? Charle.
What's behind the magic door?
Loki.
The new cat's in town.
Happy.
Panties galore.
Elfman.
Giggity.
Kick-ass kitties.
Juvia.
Vivid photo.
Gray.
Shit just got real.
And I'm going with episode 22, Shoobeedoowa! because that covers anime and manga this week.
Yay!
Oh my god, I didn't realize that.
Shoobeedoowa double! Yeah. I realized it, dude. That was fucking amazing because we got Shoobeedoowa in the anime recap and Shoobeedoowa in the manga recap. I'm loving that. Pimp suits for Gagil. That's what I should call it.
Yay!
Alright. So, yeah, that is pretty much it for us, and we are going to play through all the ways that you can get a hold of us.
Find out about the latest fairy tale news, when the next episode is out, or to post on our blogs and let us know what you saw, visit fairytalepodcast.wordpress.com. You can also send us an email to fairytalepodcast@gmail.com.
Of course, all our videos are up on YouTube until we find a good feed to host them for iTunes and Zoom. However, we do not have all the audio up on our Mega Upload account, which is linked in the description for every video we post up.
If you want to follow us on Twitter to see what pretty pictures we find, new logos, con info, and awesome music, follow us at FairyTaleCast.
Keep up to date on when the newest episodes and chapters come out, as well as chat with other fans of the podcast and the Fairy Tale community. Discuss all your latest obsessions, share news, and chat with the crew of the podcast. Also be sure to send us your AMVs to post as well as any cosplay images you have. Help our community of fans to grow. Alright, so we hope that you loved this episode of the podcast. We know that Thailand does. Jesus. Thank you guys so much. Again, really appreciate it, but, we've said this before earlier, but as many of the cons as we want to get to, that you guys want us to get to, it still costs money for us to get there and get a hotel room and everything, so please help us out by going to that Konoha Corner Podcast website, konohacornerpodcast.webs.com. Click on that donation button that's on there, and it'll take you to that PayPal where you can insert the dollar amount or the monetary amount of your choice into Happy's little pouch. While you're doing this, please don't forget the reason why we're all here, and that, of course, is the Fairy Tale series, this wonderful story, and all these great characters that we have been given by Hiro Mashima. Help keep the man employed. It's really simple to do. All you have to do is purchase the anime, manga, video games, and all the incredible swag out there. And please remember, 2 weeks from now, the anime drops, baby. So, yeah, that is it for us. I am Nasu Dragneel saying, I want to fight this guy. I really want to fight this guy. Bring it.
I'm Charle, and I'm saying, Happy's not looking so bad after all.
Meow?
I'm Loki, and I'm glad I finally have a cat.
I'm Happy, and damn, Lucy, you need to get some more sexy underwear. You got some granny panties going on.
I'm Elfmans, and I love Lucy panties.
I'm Juvia, and Gray needs to start paying attention to me too.
Start stripping a little bit more, maybe you will.
Exactly. I didn't even have to move my lips to that. I'm Gran. Hey, Alexa, get your ass here and be happy.
Alrighty. So that is it for us. We are signing out. Peace from the greatest guild in the world. And remember, mages so much cooler than internet pirates.
Wiener! Yay!
I got your wiener right here.
Fro, too! Ew! I knew something smelled like fish.